Welcome to Techzine TV.
Welcome to a new episode of Techzine TV. We're at HPE Discover, and we're going to talk to Brad Parks. He's Chief Product Officer at HPE Morpheus, a company they recently acquired and integrated in many of their products. So very interesting to talk to him. Next to me is, of course, my colleague Sander.
Hello. Yeah, I'm finishing up an email, but no, it's fine. I'm very, very engaged in this conversation. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Welcome, Brad.
Glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Nice you could join us because Morpheus has become pretty important in a very short amount of time for HPE.
I was never the cool kid in school. I had two people this week grab me as I was walking through the show floor at Discover and asked to take a selfie. So I guess
Right.
Morpheus is popular.
So you're walking next to your shoes now.
Yeah, I guess.
No, but last year at this show, they announced they were going to do something with VMs and
KVM, yeah.
it was like, oh yeah, we have this small announcement. We're doing something
Yeah.
with VMs, and it kind of exploded in their face. And then the acquisition followed of
Yes.
Morpheus, which was, I learned afterwards, planned for a very long time. They were
We've been talking for a long time.
yeah. But that all finalized and doing HPE Discovery in Barcelona at the end of last year. They made the announcement and they came up with this enterprise-grade VM solution.
Yeah, VM Essentials.
Which basically Morpheus, a core feature of Morpheus, rebranded to HPE, right? Because many of the things you already built.
So effectively, first and foremost, back in June last year, HPE announced an intent to do something with KVM. The acquisition closed at the end of August. First thing we did, all the big brains got together in a room and we said, hey, you show us yours, we'll show you ours. We got together and they said, wow, the Morpheus KVM stack already checks a lot of the boxes. HPE had already done some deeper integration with things like Aruba and Alletra. And so we said, let's make a baby. So we took the KVM stack as well as what HPE had already done. And that's what we announced as VM Essentials. But really it's Morpheus VM Essentials.
Yeah.
And now we have Morpheus VM Essentials and Morpheus Enterprise, two members of the Morpheus family.
Yeah. And what is Morpheus Enterprise more than Essentials is?
So similar to, I know a lot of the folks you guys talk to probably are familiar with the VMware suite.
Yeah, many of them, yeah.
So you've got...
Is anyone familiar with the VMware suite? That's the hard one to grasp. But
what is it this week? I don't know. So you've got kind of the vSphere standard or Enterprise Plus set of capabilities. Really, that's good for smaller enterprise, mid-market, people who need basic virtualization capabilities. Then they have the VCF suite that adds automation, orchestration, self-service, FinOps, all these upstack capabilities. Well, very similarly, the Morpheus Software family has two members. VM Essentials is taking a lot of the core capabilities of Morpheus, where we're shutting off some of the capabilities, but you're getting
comparable to vSphere.
It's more of that vSphere standard set. It includes the ability to connect to vCenter, though, and it includes the built-in KVM runtime. That's the important thing. So as customers want to start to re-platform some workloads and adjust risk and cost, they have the option to do both. When you get up to the enterprise, you not only have VMware and KVM, you also have Nutanix, Microsoft, AWS, Azure, GCP, Oracle. Morpheus Enterprise can connect to dozens of private and public clouds.
Okay, and the whole automation part, is that as advanced as VCF is, for example, with ARIA products or they rebranded it a couple
and
times.
I am biased, but I'll say that when back a number of years ago when Gartner did their Magic Quadrant critical capabilities, Morpheus was the absolute top of the critical capabilities analysis for hybrid cloud orchestration, and others were quite a bit lower.
But what's the plan with so the end game? What's the end goal of this, right? Because if you speak to HPE people now, look, we don't necessarily want to compete with the full stack of VMware, because VMware is also a partner of HPE, obviously. So, but as you as you
This sure
expand,
sounds like.
if you expand the capabilities of Morpheus and so wider and wider, you do get a VCF competitor. Then how do, because I think the market is a bit confused about this.
Morpheus forever, right? We have appealed to enterprises that have heterogeneous approaches to their application stacks and formats. And if you look at today, even compared to 2 or 3 years ago, things are getting more and more heterogeneous. You may have multiple hypervisors. You have a combination of VMs and containers. Many enterprises have multiple container distributions at work. And then you've got the public clouds. There is a need for enterprises to have a platform strategy and a unified way to think about how they're provisioning into all of those environments, putting governance and guardrails into all those environments, doing things like FinOps into all those environments. As HPE, we have an opportunity and really a demand to help customers get to a cloud operating model that is independent of any specific underlying technology. And that is the end game, you asked, right? HPE has, over the last few years, with a series of acquisitions, really come to the forefront as a platform company.
Yeah. So I get that you can manage multiple clouds on your on-premise stack, and that's very interesting for many companies. And last year it sounded like, oh, they're coming with an alternative for vSphere. So the low-hanging fruit of the VMware customers are kind of running away or need to go away. They can move to HPE, but if you look at the Morpheus Enterprise stack, you're also getting the feeling, hey, if you're on the whole VCF thing where you think it's getting too expensive, maybe HPE has an alternative that's
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, VCF, if you're a 100% VMware shop and you want to use ARIA just to do your VMware, it's great. If you want to do automation and orchestration for things outside of VMware, that is what Morpheus built an entire business doing.
And that is the bigger. Is that still the bigger part of the market, or because obviously VMware has a huge market share, right?
Like I said, everyone is on some sort of heterogeneous, multi-factor, multi-hypervisor, multi-cloud journey. And that's where Morpheus plays, is the ability to bring that all under one umbrella.
Yeah. So to finalize a bit, how long are you going to be the popular kid at HPE?
When that networking thing happens, there'll be another shiny object. But honestly, I think in talking to customers, I mean, I have done enough sessions this week and they've all been packed to the gills. The customers I talk to are honestly irritated that they're having to think about virtualization again. They want to get to a cloud operating model. And so that is the ultimate end game. And doing that not just as standalone software, but also inside private cloud stacks like HPE Private Cloud Business Edition. Being able to use the Morpheus technology in things like PCAI. So this software is spreading its wings.
And are we going to see Aruba technology and storage technology come into Morpheus to make the product even better?
Absolutely. I didn't even serve that one up, but we actually recently did an integration.
We know a lot about VMware, so we can imagine where you can take the product.
We actually already announced just a couple of weeks ago. So we did 2 things. We did an Alletra storage plugin that gives you granular VM assignment, very similar to vVols, rest in peace. And we did an Aruba plugin, right? That'll get you full microsegmentation directly from the VM Essentials or the Morpheus Enterprise user interface. And you're doing that not just for VMware, but for all of those hypervisors at about half the cost.
So then you actually add NSX kind of capabilities to it.
Yeah. So
makes sense.
It sounds all very promising, but there's someone behind the camera pointing to us that we need to wrap up. So I want to thank you, Brad, for being on our show. And, I think it's very interesting, and I think very interesting for your customers and potential VMware customers that want to move to something else. Thank you for watching Techzine TV. It was a short one, but it was very interesting. So keep watching, and maybe there's more to come.
Thank you for watching Techzine TV, the channel about enterprise technology that brings you IT insights and analyses from events all around the globe. We cover everything, everywhere. Visit techzine.eu for more written in-depth articles and analysis, or keep watching techzine.tv. Don't forget to subscribe to our channels and share your favorite videos with your colleagues. We'll see you soon.